Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR, HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Caregivers, have you ever felt like nothing is going right? Well, cheer up and welcome to Dave, the Caregiver's Caregiver radio program, where you'll learn how to avoid that dreaded thing called caregiver burnout and how to survive the grieving process. Join Dave and his guests now as they share practice tips and tools that you can start using immediately to help get you through this day. Now, here's your caregiver host, Dave Nassani.
From Los Angeles and New York City and Manhattan to Big LA and Big Apple, welcome to all my listeners out there in Radio Land. I am Dave, the Caregiver's Caregiver, coming to you live through the HealthyLife.net radio network. And we have a great show for you today, Adrian and I and Adrian. Hello, Adrian.
Hi.
Hi, and our guest today, I am so excited, Bryan Robinson, author of Chill. He's a PhD, and we are just so excited to get him on. But before we do that, I want to thank last week's guest, which I believe was Adrian and I. So thank you, Adrian and I, for doing a great show. Welcome to the show, Bryan.
Thank you, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you, and we're just going to have a conversation with you. So why don't you take a minute or two? I like to ask my guests, why in the world was Bryan Robinson put on this earth, and what does he hope to accomplish? How's that for a deep question?
That's a good one. Well, I think I was put on this earth to be a caregiver.
Really?
And I always have been, and to take care of everybody else but me.
Yeah, join the club.
I know. And I've learned over time that the way I did that was to overcare. I call it careholism, and to overwork, and to rush and to hurry and to get as much done as I could, and to do whatever people wanted, not what I wanted, and so there came a point where my marriage was falling apart, and I was having some medical issues, and I decided to seek therapy. And in the course of the therapy, I realized I was so unconscious. I realized what I was doing to myself and how much better I could help people if I took better care of me. You know that old metaphor of the airplane, you put the oxygen on the self first, not the child.
Boy, it's like I'm talking to myself here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, I've never heard you put it that way. What'd you say, careaholic?
Careholism.
Careaholic.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I steal that from you, Bryan?
Sure. Oh, yeah, use it.
I love that.
I even talk about it in the book, #Chill. The book is actually #Chill. It has what we used to call a pound sign.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are calling it pound chill.
Right.
But it's #Chill. You know,
so why did you call it that?
Well, I didn't at first. I just had the name Chill, and someone who's younger and a little more hip than me said, you got to put hashtag in front of it because it makes it sound more 2018 or 2019. and so I did. And people love it, the #Chill. It also kind of underscores the importance of what the word means. And it's not just about hanging out by the pool and relaxing or watching the ball game and sipping a beer and kicking back. Although those kinds of things are great things to do, but it's really about how are we showing up in the world? What are we doing? How are we taking care of ourselves? And how are we acting or reacting to what life brings to us? That's the bottom line, reactivity, the knee-jerk reactions that we have, and how to stay chill when life doesn't work out the way we want it to, which it never will. Because as you say, I was put here for a reason, I believe. But life is not put here to accommodate Bryan Robinson. It's my job to ask Not how is life treating me, how am I treating life?
Wow. So in your book, you talk about the difference between being driven and being drawn. What's the difference?
Well, when you're a careaholic or a workaholic, or if you're hurrying and rushing or trying to meet deadlines and you're not paying attention to the present moment and what you're doing to your mind and body, you're driven by the external circumstances of your life. When you're drawn, you're compassionate. There's a difference in being compassionate and a careaholic. You know, a lot of careaholics are addicted to feeling good by as many people as they can take care of. I'm sure you've probably talked about that before. But when you're drawn, it's coming from a different place inside. It's coming from a non-selfish or non-self place. It's selfless service. Mm-hmm. But it's also, when I say selfless, I mean you're taking care of yourself. You're not neglecting yourself.
No.
But being drawn is coming from a deeper place in your heart.
Wow. That's interesting.
Does that make sense, though? Because if I'm drawn, I'm coming from me and from integrity and from respect and from love, not from I have to get this done.
Yeah, I was silent because I'm just processing it. That's a lot of deep stuff, and it's still seeping down into my brain. So, what's the difference in a chilled worker and a workaholic?
Well, a workaholic is someone who's on the ski slopes dreaming about being back in the office. And a chilled worker is someone who's in the office dreaming about being on the ski slope. In other words, a chilled worker has balance. They're not driven by the demands of what's going on around us. Now, let me clarify that. Of course, we all have responsibilities and obligations. But there's another piece that's added to it, and that is I make a decision about how I'm going to navigate the stress in my life. It's up to me to decide whether I'm going to act or react when things don't go my way. It's about me putting myself on life's terms, not on my terms. And that takes practice. That's not easy. In the book, I have what I call micro chillers, and those are simple 3 to 5 minute little exercises we can all do, because people are always saying to me, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. So you can't say you don't have time to do a 3 to 5 minute micro chiller because, and we can talk about why that's important, but you can do some of these in your car. Let me just give you an example. There's one called HALT, H-A-L-T. That's an acronym for hungry, angry, lonely, and tired, right?
How do you know that, Adrian?
That's a 12-step thing.
Oh.
Yeah, you go, Adrian. That's great. So, let's say I'm irritable, and I don't even know why because I'm hurrying to the next event. I can pull that up. HALT, H, hungry. No, I'm not hungry. Angry? No, I'm not angry. I'm lonely. I'm going to call a friend. So it helps you get to what's really going on inside of you. So if you're hungry, you eat. If you're angry, you take some time to deal with that, not while you're driving, but at some point. If you're lonely, call someone. If you're tired, get the rest that you need. So it's those kind of simple little things that can really help us bring balance to our arid lives.
I have never heard of that before. That's awesome.
Yeah, cool.
I'm going to steal that, too. Thank you.
Hey, I've got another one you can steal, Dave.
Oh, good.
It's, everybody listening, what would happen if all of us made a to-be list instead of a to-do list? I mean, it's okay to have a to-do list. Nothing wrong with that. Uh-huh. But to bring the balance, what if we had a to-be list? What would be on that list? I know what would be on my list. What would be on yours, Adrian? Now, here's exactly what I want to say something. If I asked you your to-do list, you would have responded quicker. What just happened was you're doing what everybody, and I even do it sometimes. What would it be? It takes a while to think about it because we don't think that way. But I bet if I asked you what your to-do list was, you'd just spit it right out, wouldn't you?
Right.
Well, right now, yeah. My life is a little bit hectic. But, I mean, the to-be list is, to me, equally as important as the to-do list. I want to be a good person who gives back, which is what I do.
Yeah.
I try, anyway.
Yeah. And one of the things that I have, intentions I set for the new year, and this is just me, I'm not suggesting everybody do this necessarily, is to love everyone who gets in my way. Now, that's a tall order, and I don't need to sound like I've arrived anywhere. But imagine forgiving... I gotta steal that, too. Yeah. Imagine forgiving the crying baby on the airplane behind me on the 8-hour flight. Right? Imagine... I know. Imagine forgiving the person who cut you off in traffic. Imagine forgiving the barking dog or the neighbor's weed eater when you're trying to take a nap, or someone steps in front of you in the grocery line and they don't realize it. Imagine forgiving that person. Now, that doesn't mean you don't do something about it. You can tap someone on the shoulder and say, "Excuse me, sir, the line is here. Excuse me, ma'am." But the point is, what are we doing on the inside? And that's acting instead of reacting. It's taking a breath and saying, how do I want to be in the world? Like you just said, Adrian, you clearly have a calling. And to go back to what Dave was asking me at the very beginning, I feel like that this is one of the reasons I was put on the planet, is to try to make, at least in my tiny little corner, in my tiny little way, life better for all of us, myself included. I didn't used to include me, but I include myself now.
Wow. I'm just getting so much. I'm just going to have to read your book.
Hey, I got another one for you, Dave.
I would have read it, but we only had one day notice that you were coming on.
Oh, that's okay.
But it sounds like a book that I would love.
Oh, thank you. It really emphasizes the whole idea of loving kindness, which sounds so simple, but it's not easy to be that when we look at the news every night and we see what's going on in the world. You see how people are reacting all over the place. But if each one of us could act instead of react and take that moment to step back and take a breath and just say, who do I want to be in the world? And can I be a role model for other people? We can't be perfect because we're human. But, how many times have I stepped in line in front of somebody? In fact, I did it last week at the post office. And the guy was very nice, and he said, "Sorry, sir, but the line's back here." And, I felt a little bad, and I said, "Oh, thank you for telling me." But I had no idea that I'd stepped in front of him. So how many times have I don't have a weed eater, but I'm sure my lawnmower may have disturbed someone, or how many times have I, stepped in line or interrupted someone or forgotten or made a mistake? We're all human, and there's a piece of all of us in everybody else. And I just love the idea of that oneness and that sense of if we could have more compassion and give people more of a break, and ourselves as well, we could all change the world if everybody could come close to that, at least.
Yeah. The last time somebody honked at us on the freeway because we did something like cut them off or whatever.
Right.
But I'm a biggie for balance, which I totally agree. We all have to be balanced. And forgiveness. Forgiveness, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and hoping the other person will die. It's not going to touch them.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're busy living their life, having a great time. They have no clue that you're being eaten up inside, getting cancer and ulcers, and it's never going to reach them. So just let it go.
Right. They've moved on with their life, and we get stuck in the rat poison, as you say.
Rat poison, So what goes on? Go ahead, Adrian.
I just wanted to know how much the 12 steps and the anonymous programs do come into your thinking.
Oh, because that's a great question.
when I founded the Caregiver space, they were very, very essential. The Serenity Prayer was absolutely key.
Adrian asks great questions.
That's a great one. I'm glad you asked it, too. This book has 12 chapters, and each chapter, the titles, you would not know this, there's some of the titles I can't even say on the air.
Okay.
Because it's really, in some ways it uses just everyday street language. But there are 12 chapters, they're 12 months out of the year, and each chapter starts with that month and what that month means. Like, for example, April came from the Latin word apri, I think it is, which means to open. And it talks about this is the time of year when baby birds hatch and flowers open, and so it follows that it's the time of the year that we start to develop some openness within ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of the theme. And then at the end of each chapter correlates with one of the 12 steps. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of the chapter, it tells you what step 1 is, step 2 is, and so forth. And you see how the whole chapter is really wrapped around each step of Workaholics Anonymous.
Okay.
So what goes on at the cellular level, Bryan, when we're busy versus chill?
Well, we don't realize it, but what happens is our alarm system gets turned on because we're hurrying and rushing, or we're on what I call autopilot, and we're not conscious of the present moment. So we're zipping through life to try to make that deadline, or to please the boss, or to get something accomplished. Sometimes it's a self-imposed pressure. It has nothing to do with the outside. And that's when we're driven. And what happens is it activates what we call the sympathetic nervous system, which is the stress response. Imagine if we drove our car 90 miles an hour and tried to change tires at the same time. We would burn out. We'd burn the engine out. And probably, of course, it would kill us, too, trying to do that. But so that's why we know that we have gas and we have brakes. So if I'm hurrying and rushing, that's my gas. If I'm taking a breath and watching the grass grow, that's brakes. Many people in this day and time have little or no brakes. They're just putting the gas pedal to the metal, and they're burning out. They're dropping dead of heart attacks. They're having gastrointestinal issues. Their immune systems are compromised, not to mention how it affects the brain. And this is science. This is not my opinion. Mm-hmm. We know that people who meditate on a regular basis, for example, and I'd like to talk about meditation in a minute, the hippocampus, which is the part of the brain responsible for memory, does not shrink, or does not shrink as much. And what that means is, over time, you have more clarity. You're more in the present moment. So there's so many advantages physically and mentally to taking time out. Now, a lot of people don't understand that. They'll say, I don't have time. Well, we all have time, and we're not talking about necessarily hours, but if you can just take 5 minutes a day or 5 minutes here and there, it starts to activate what we call the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the brakes, but in neurology, it's known as the rest and digest response. We were not meant to go just with the gas. We were meant to have the gas and the brakes, and that's the balance. It's on the neurological level, balance is gas and brakes, not just gas, and not just brakes either. It's both.
You are such an intellectual, Bryan. How did you get so smart? What did you do before in your previous life?
Well, I was a professor at the University of North Carolina.
That explains it.
So,
what did you teach?
I taught counseling, special education, and child development.
All right.
But I'm a learner too. I just like to learn.
I thought you were a neurologist or something.
Well, that's what I've learned on my own. I've studied it, and I've read books about it, and I've taken seminars on it.
So you can do brain
surgery. I just
surgery.
like to learn. No, don't let me be your brain surgeon, please. that would really stress me out.
I was going to say that there was the third combination of people who put on the gas and continued to watch the grass grow, and that's a dangerous combination.
Yeah. If you put the gas and the brakes on at the same time, You're right. That's the problem. Yeah, if we're going to put the brakes on, we want to do it in a way that we can fully participate in putting the brakes on.
Yes.
And that brings me back to this whole idea of meditation that has gotten a bum rap.
Yeah.
A lot of people
you have 2 minutes before we go to a break, so you can do that in 2 minutes, right?
I'll try. I'll do it.
Right.
I'll try. Okay. So, well, maybe we'll come back to it later. We can come back to it. But the main point is meditation is not as complicated as people think it is or it's been made. When I ask my clients to meditate, they throw their hands up and say, I don't have time for that. I've tried it. I can't clear my mind. Meditation is not about clearing your mind. That's the outcome. That's not the goal. The goal is focus. And I focus on my breath. 5 minutes a day, I focus on the intake through my nose and the outtake through my mouth. And every time I focus, my mind wanders. It's supposed to. That's part of meditation. So when your mind wanders, all you do is just bring it back to the breath again. Mm-hmm. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Then your mind is going to wander again. That's when people give up. That's when people give up.
Wow. So, let's take a break. That way we can come back and talk about meditation. So we will be right back. Don't go away.
One Arm, One Leg, 100 Words by Dave Nassani is the book that helps you overcome and perhaps even prevent the hardships associated with strokes. Dave takes you on his journey and experience with his own wife, Charlene, a stroke survivor. This book tells you everything about strokes to help you and your loved ones survive without making costly mistakes that may save a life or a brain from irreparable damage. One Arm, One Leg, 100 Words. The book is available on Amazon.com or order it from fine bookstores everywhere.
Okay, so you have a couple of days off, and you're planning to get away from stress. You may be planning to go across the world, or even taking a staycation around town. Well, Hotels.com can get you a room in over 158,000 hotels, 60 countries, for 50% off. That's reducing stress already. Plus, collect 10 nights, and you'll get 1 night free. And there's no cancellation charges, no change fees. For the best deals, even last-minute deals, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on Hotels.com.
Guilt, fear, loneliness, burnout. These are just some of the things caregivers feel. But now there's hope. CaregiverDave.com is a membership website with an understanding community designed around supporting you. With a little perspective, planning, and practical help, you can become a thriving caregiver. Start by visiting CaregiverDave.com. Get weekly calls, practical solutions, and free resources. Plus, when you sign up, you'll get a 30-minute coaching call free. Don't wait. Go to CaregiverDave.com and join now.
Audiobooks gives you instant access to over 50,000 of the best sellers and hottest book titles in romance, mystery, fiction, and many other genres. Just visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on Audiobooks to get started.
Reclaim your caregiver sanity with Dave Nassani's book, It's My Life Too. Caring for someone with an illness or condition who is expected to live for a relatively long period of time is a specific and unique challenge. This book pinpoints the needs and strategies a caregiver must do for themselves in order to survive, thrive, and make caregiving a rewarding, gratifying experience. So get your copy of It's My Life Too today, or buy one for your special caregiver. It's My Life Too is available at Amazon.com and CaregiverDave.com.
You're listening to HealthyLife.net. Millions of listeners know the secret. Now you do too. Positive talk 24 hours a day, every day.
We're back with Bryan Robinson and Adrienne Gruberg. So, welcome back. Tell us, Bryan, about the meditation thing that you were going to say.
Okay.
What role does meditation play in chill?
Yeah. Meditation is one of the best ways to activate what we call the parasympathetic nervous system, and it's automatic, it's organic. And it's a very simple thing to do. You don't have to sit in the lotus position, burn incense, or play weird music. And we have tons of research just pouring out from Harvard and other big institutions. We can see now the MRIs of the brain and the changes in the brain. So it's not just somebody's opinion anymore. It's hard science that when you meditate, and we have data just 5 minutes a day, it can change your life. It can help you be less reactive automatically. It just spills over. It will boost your immune system. It will extend your life. It will improve memory and brain functioning. It has so many advantages. And all you do is focus on your breath is one way. It's focus on something. I can give you another example in a minute. And as I focus on my breath, my mind is going to wander. People give up when their mind wanders because they think they're supposed to clear their mind. That's a myth. You go back to your breath very gently. You just let your mind wander if it needs to. You bring it back, and it's going to wander again. Just bring it back and keep focusing on your breath. What's going to happen if you do this on a regular basis, you're going to start to notice that you're more focused, that your mind doesn't wander as much. And what you're really doing is training your mind that you're in charge of it, that it's not in charge of you. So it can't just go where it wants to go anytime. It can't create these fantasies that something terrible is going to happen to you. It can't manufacture worry. It can't bring you anxiety for no reason. So it really, because it activates that parasympathetic nervous system, it spills over into your daily life, and you start to notice it after a while.
Yeah, I like that, because 90% of everything we worry about never happens anyway. But the Bible says, do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has trouble of its own. And, and so
I call that the fortune teller. You know, when we all have a fortune teller, it's not us, it's a part of us. It's trying to keep us safe, really. But what it does, it scares the heck out of us and makes up these stories that, as you say, rarely, if ever, happen.
Yeah,
but we go
our
through the trauma of it anyway.
Our subconscious is stupid. It will believe whatever you tell it. You know,
it sure will.
Say, oh, I'm never going to get that job. Oh, okay, I'll let that happen. You know, they're at the control center of your brain. On the other hand, you know, you say, oh, you know, I really want this. I'm going to get this. You just, oh, okay, we can make that happen.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, in your book, what do you mean by great work?
Well, great work, you hear people throw that phrase around in the office, is usually the quality of the outcome and the volume of what you've produced, which is part of it. But the way I talk about great work is how did I get there? What is the process I went through? How did I treat people around me? Did I snip at them? Was I a team player? Was I all-inclusive? Was I respectful of people? Did I regulate my frustrations and reactivity? So, to me, great work is more than just what you produce, but it's how you go through the process of producing it. You treat the janitor and the judge equally.
So does the means justify the ends? Did I say that right? The end justify the means, right?
Well, I don't think so. And I think that's the point, that balance is not just what I produce, you know, the doing, it's also the being. That you got to bring both of those together if you want balance and if you want #chill. So it's not just what I do, it's being responsible for how the process I go through and how I treat people and how I treat myself. Instead of overloading myself and beating myself up, you know, we all have that inner critic. It's about being more gentle with me and having loving kindness for myself as well.
Thus the importance of the to-be list.
That's right. And those of us who are caregivers especially, the American Psychological Association did a study, and they found that chronic caregivers have the highest stress rate of any other stress on the planet. It's one of the most stressful things we can do.
Yes, and they're more susceptible to suicide as well.
Absolutely. And we tend, as caretakers, to not take care of ourselves. And I'm sure you've talked about this before, and it goes back to something we were saying earlier, is the importance of self-compassion. And that's not being self-centered. It's honoring who we are on the inside and forgiving ourselves when we make a mistake or forget.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever called it self-compassion, but that's a great way to put it. Have you ever heard of that, Adrian?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you did.
She thinks of everything, doesn't she?
She's older than me, so she has more wisdom. I'm just Johnny come lately.
Is that what it is?
I've been doing this 22 years. She's been doing it.
I see. So, on that topic, another one of the micro chillers in the book is to make a list of your tall comings.
Tall comings?
And there's no such word.
I gotta write that down. You're amazing.
If you look up shortcomings, and if I ask somebody, they'll give me a list, it'll just spit right off their tongue. But if I say tall comings, they kind of stumble and say, what do you mean, first of all? And then it's the opposite of shortcomings. And again, there's your balance. If my tall coming list is at least close to equal to the shortcoming list, I'm going to feel better about myself, and I'm going to perform better in the world.
Are you still teaching? Because I'd love to be in your class.
Well, you know how I teach now is through bigger media, and I have a blog on Psychology Today that I write once a month, and I have a blog on Thrive Global by Adriana Huffington's.
Ariana.
Ariana Huffington. Yeah. And of course, I'm a therapist, so I still teach, but I do it in different modalities now.
Oh. Well, listen, we're going to take another break. Don't go away. We will be right back with Bryan Robinson.
Reclaim your caregiver sanity with Dave Nassani's book, It's My Life Too. Caring for someone with an illness or condition who is expected to live for a relatively long period of time is a specific and unique challenge. This book pinpoints the needs and strategies a caregiver must do for themselves in order to survive, thrive, and make caregiving a rewarding, gratifying experience. So get your copy of It's My Life Too today, or buy one for your special caregiver. It's My Life Too is available at Amazon.com and CaregiverDave.com.
Discover the world's largest anti-aging organization, Life Extension. For the best information, vitamins, and supplements, you just can't beat Life Extension. To start extending your life, go to the HealthyLife.net advertiser page and click on the Life Extension banner.
One Arm, One Leg, 100 Words by Dave Nassani is the book that helps you overcome and perhaps even prevent the hardships associated with strokes. Dave takes you on his journey and experience with his own wife, Charlene, a stroke survivor. This book tells you everything about strokes to help you and your loved ones survive without making costly mistakes that may save a life or a brain from irreparable damage. One Arm, One Leg, 100 Words. The book is available on Amazon.com or order it from fine bookstores everywhere.
If you want USA and worldwide car rentals, choose Rentacar.com. Free cancellations on most bookings, no hidden charges. They are trusted by over 4 million customers. Visit our advertiser page and click on the Rent-A-Car banner.
Guilt, fear, loneliness, burnout. These are just some of the things caregivers feel. But now there's hope. CaregiverDave.com is a membership website with an understanding community designed around supporting you. With a little perspective, planning, and practical help, you can become a thriving caregiver. Start by visiting CaregiverDave.com. Get weekly calls, practical solutions, and free resources. Plus, when you sign up, you'll get a 30-minute coaching call free. Don't wait. Go to CaregiverDave.com and join now. Remember, get positive emotions at www.healthylife.net.
And we're back with Bryan Robinson on the Caregiver Dave Show and Adrian Gruberg co-hosting. And Bryan, what does a reader learn in your book about how to chill?
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot of information to process and think about, and there are actual tools that you can use. And one is, I mentioned earlier, different types of meditation. There's a process called open awareness, and this is fun to do, I think. And it's where you can do it right now as I'm saying this. You just, wherever you are, just stop for 2 or 3 minutes and just listen and identify as many different sounds as you can. And you might hear a plane outside or a train or traffic. You might hear a dog barking in the distance. You might hear your stomach gurgling. You might hear the heating system. If you do that for 2 minutes, that's all you do is just, what am I hearing right now? What are the sounds? And name as many as you can. You have to just really listen.
And what does that accomplish?
Well, it brings you into the present moment. You're not worrying about what you're going to have to put on the table for dinner or worried about how you're going to pay certain bills. You're in the present moment. And if you do that, you start to notice, gosh, you feel a little calmer inside. Your heart rate slowed down some because it has brought you into the now. And one of the things we often say is there's no problem in the moment. It's usually in the future or it's in the past. Past regrets or future worries.
I wish you could see Adrienne right now. She's got this smile on her face. What are you smiling at? You look like the person who swallowed the canary.
This is all my. This is my bailiwick.
This is your space.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and
are you planning on writing another book?
You didn't read the first one yet.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure he was still writing all this good stuff down.
Oh, I am.
Yes.
Good.
I love it. And I try to practice all of it. I try to practice all of it. I don't, but I want people to understand what's in this book is something I try to live by. I'm not always successful because I'm a human being.
Right.
Nobody can be perfect. It's not about perfection. It's about progress.
That's right.
So if somebody sees me in a car and I get cut off and I'm banging the steering wheel, please don't think I'm a hypocrite because I hope I don't do that, but I can't promise, and I'm not going to promise. I'm going to let myself be human.
Amen to that. So what role...
Can I mention something else here?
Go ahead.
Well, and here again, this is maybe deep, but I love the idea of accepting the opposite of your desires. You can't have an up without a down. You can't have a back without a front. You can't have success without defeat. It's impossible. But when typically we get defeated or feel defeated, we're really not even defeated, maybe. We tend to react, get angry, get upset, and sometimes we attack ourselves and put ourselves down. But when I can accept a failure, in quotation marks, which I don't really much believe in, or defeat, then I can accept success.
It's so like one step forward, 2 steps back.
Exactly. If we plot that, Dave, progress is not linear. It's not straight up. No matter what you're trying to achieve, it's a zigzag. So you're going to make a little progress, you're going to fall back. You're going to make a little progress, you might fall back again. We are not perfect animals. We are human beings. We are fallible, and we can't be perfect. When we allow ourselves that, we're going to be more successful. So if I fail at something, let's say my goal is to love or forgive everyone who gets in my way, and somebody does pull in front of me, and I have to slam on brakes, and I hit the steering wheel, I'm immediately going to forgive myself. That will help me get back in the saddle. Here's where self-compassion comes in. I'll get back in the saddle, and I'll be able to continue. If I attack myself, I'm going to feel miserable, and I'm going to give up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even try anymore. I can't do this. That's when you're a perfectionist.
Yeah.
You're your own worst enemy, and you don't realize it. So when you can accept the opposite of your desires, and defeat comes, which it will, for all you folks who've made New Year's resolutions, at some point you're going to break them. That's okay.
Yeah.
Give yourself some, and keep on going, though. Don't stop. Don't throw in the towel. Take that towel, wipe the sweat off your brow, and keep on going.
Yeah, I always tell people God doesn't care about how many times you mess up. He just cares about how long it takes for you to get back up.
Oh, I like that.
Adrian's smiling again. She just loves what you're saying here. I think you two, we need to go to lunch. Are you in the New York area or anything?
I will be in July. I'll look you guys up and we'll have dinner.
Yeah, we got to connect because you are a great guy and you make Adrian smile.
Is Jill out on the stands now?
What?
The what?
I wanted to know if the book was on the stands now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's on Amazon. It's in all the Barnes & Noble bookstores. It's in all the independent bookstores. Oh, and folks can go on my website, by the way, and there's a test that says, how chill are you? They can take the test, and it will electronically score it right there. And my website is www.bryanrobinsonbook.com. That's BRYAN, BryanRobinsonBooks.com. And it also has the blogs from Psychology Today and other things that folks can take advantage of. It's all free. There's no charge for anything. Yeah.
So what role does survival coping mechanisms have to do with the ability to chill?
Remember back in, it was last year, 2008, in Thailand, the little boys who were trapped in the caves?
Yes.
It made up, international news.
Right.
Do you know why they survived? Because they meditated, which helped them reserve their energy, conserve their energy, and it helped them stay calm. And there's there's a book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, who was a famous psychologist. The book is in every bookstore in the country. It's a fabulous book. He was imprisoned in Dachau and Auschwitz back during the Nazi reign. Mm-hmm. And he was separated from his wife. She ended up being gassed. He wrote this book after the experience, and he said, the way I survived was I meditated. And my self-will was stronger than what the Nazis took away from me. They took away my clothes, my food. People were dropping dead around me like flies. But I remember saying to myself, they will never get my will. And that's what helped him get through. He would meditate and take his mind to times when he and his wife were having a picnic in the valley somewhere in Europe. It's a fabulous book, but the point here is meditation or some type of micro-chill helps us go to a place that is stronger than hardness, softness. Softness is powerful, powerful stuff. Grass grows through concrete. We have within us, all of us, and a lot of people listening to this are not able to maybe take this in or believe it about themselves. We all have, there's more power inside of us than on the outside of us. And we find it when we're able to do some of these, take some of these tools and be able to chill. We find that we overcome obstacles easier. We don't let them get us down. We go around them or over them, but we always find a way to scale the wall.
Yeah, a tree grows in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Listen, we're going to take another break. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Bryan Robinson and Adrian Gruberg.
Guilt, fear, loneliness, burnout. These are just some of the things caregivers feel. But now there's hope. CaregiverDave.com is a membership website with an understanding community designed around supporting you. With a little perspective, planning, and practical help, you can become a thriving caregiver. Start by visiting CaregiverDave.com. Get weekly calls, practical solutions, and free resources. Plus, when you sign up, you'll get a 30-minute coaching call free. Don't wait. Go to CaregiverDave.com and join now.
Constant Contact and your small business make a perfect fit for marketing. They give you what you need to succeed. Fast and easy email marketing at your fingertips. Visit the HealthyLife.net advertiser page and click on Constant Contact to start your marketing.
Reclaim your caregiver sanity with Dave Nasani's book, It's My Life Too. Caring for someone with an illness or condition who is expected to live for a relatively long period of time is a specific and unique challenge. This book pinpoints the needs and strategies a caregiver must do for themselves in order to survive, thrive, and make caregiving a rewarding, gratifying experience. So get your copy of It's My Life Too today, or buy one for your special caregiver. It's My Life Too is available at Amazon.com and CaregiverDave.com.
Get high-quality glasses, sunglasses, and prescription lenses at eyeglasses.com. Choose from over 250,000 items and 400 brands. Already have frames? Get replacement lenses. It's easy. Go to our advertiser page and click eyeglasses.com.
One Arm, One Leg, 100 Words by Dave Nassani is the book that helps you overcome and perhaps even prevent the hardships associated with strokes. Dave takes you on his journey and experience with his own wife, Charlene, a stroke survivor. This book tells you everything about strokes to help you and your loved ones survive without making costly mistakes that may save a life or a brain from irreparable damage. One Arm, One Leg, 100 Words. The book is available on Amazon.com or order it from fine bookstores everywhere.
When you need a positive point of view, turn to HealthyLife.net, your 24/7 radio network for a better future.
And we're back with Bryan Robinson, Adrian Gruberg on the Caregiver Dave Show, and I'm Dave Nassani, your host. And Bryan, we're just having a great time here. You're making us smile, and
oh, that's great.
We definitely would love to get together with you next time you're in New York. When are you going to be in New York again?
It will be July. I'm coming up for a conference.
July. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, definitely you and if you come into LA, let me know and we'll get together.
Okay.
So you have a quote. Ask not what your life can do for you. Ask what you can do for your life. That sounds oddly familiar, doesn't it? What does that mean?
The younger folks may not know where that comes from, but you know.
Right.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I borrowed
Let's just tell all the
John
younger
F.
folks.
Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy, yes.
Yes, yes.
Ask not what your
country can do for you.
Country.
Ask what you can do for your country.
I
And
had
it's the same philosophy, though. It's about not being a victim of what comes our way. It's about taking charge. And hashtag chill is about living from that place where you own your power. You believe in yourself. You have a choice of what you do with what life brings you. A good example, again, is Viktor Frankl. And I have another one I can share with you in just a minute. But most of us are not in prison camps, thank God, and we're not trapped in a cave, but what the things, the obstacles we face and the hardships are just as important. We don't want to minimize the things that come our way, but the question becomes, so how am I treating this? Am I reacting to it? Am I angry? Am I sulking? Am I afraid? It's okay if we have those feelings, but ultimately we all have a choice of what we do and how we respond to whatever it is. And that's really people looking at, a lot of people say, well, I just don't have any power. Everybody has power, no matter how debilitated you are. You can be in a wheelchair. And in fact, I know people who have been debilitated in a wheelchair, and they're more empowered than they were before when they could move around. So
like my wife.
mindset is a powerful thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, awesome.
When I was teaching at the university, there were some monks who came from Tibet, and they did a big mandala, and then they performed. And much to our shock, there were a group of religious fundamentalists out in front of the building demonstrating, saying these people worshipped idols and they're evil and just horrible things. And they stood in a circle singing, Jesus Loves Me. And so I observed the monks when they heard about it. They stopped the show. They went outside and they joined hands with the fundamentalists and sang Jesus Loves Me.
Wow. That's awesome.
Now, that's the softness. Look how powerful it was because the group disbanded. That was not their intent. Their intent was to, how are they treating life? They're just joining with it. They're not reacting to it. But there's such strength in that.
Well, it's hard to believe that our time is just about up. Any parting thoughts, and then give us your contact information so that somebody can get a hold of you or talk, buy the book, etc. But what are your parting thoughts?
Well, I guess the conclusion would be take 5 minutes a day, and don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't try to do everything at once. A lot of the things we've talked about today will automatically come to you at some point. But just make it easy, and take one step at a time. Take 5 minutes a day to treat yourself and to be kind to someone else. And everybody who's listening right now, and myself included, you will have someone get in your way. If not today, tomorrow, I'll bet you. And when that happens, take a breath, step back, and do something different instead of reacting. See if you can act and come from your power instead of let someone just push a button inside you.
Wow. You sound like Jesus. Do unto others the way they would have you, but you're preaching it, though.
Yeah, well.
Philosophy.
Philosophy.
Yeah, it is.
Gandhi.
It's good, but it's hashtag chill. The way I package it is it's about chilling. If all of us can just chill, we're going to live longer and happier, and the people around us will too. And we'll be spreading a wonderful way of being in the world.
Wow. So how do we get a hold of you?
My website is a way folks can, if you want to send me an email, my email is Bryan Robinson, PhD, all small letters, all no spaces, Bryan Robinson, PhD, at gmail.com.
You're cutting out a little, so it's Bryan with a Y, right? Bryan.
At Gmail.
At Gmail, Bryan
Robinson at Gmail.
Robinson, PhD.
For some reason, you're cutting out, and you're...
Yeah.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
It's still a little garbled.
Oh.
So, and then a website. What's your website?
Website is BryanRobinsonBooks.com. Bryan with a Y.
Bryan with a Y, RobinsonBooks.com. And then you're on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, etc. And the name of the book, again, is hashtag chill, right?
Exactly. The subtitle is Turn Off Your Job and Turn On Your Life. The job, though, is you could be a caregiver, you can be a student, you could be anything. It's whatever your job is. You can be a stay-at-home mom. Whatever you're doing, just give yourself a break.
That's awesome, Bryan. You've been a great guest, and we will have you on again sometime because you've got a message that absolutely... Is this your first book?
Oh, no. I've written about 40 books, actually. But
40 books?
Yeah.
40 books?
Yes. Yeah,
what are they kind of all about? Are they all over the place in titles or categories?
Well, I have one called Chained to the Desk in its 3rd edition. It's available through New York University Press. I have one called Heal Your Self-Esteem. And I also write fiction. I write murder mysteries. Here, you talk about balance. I help people in the day and I kill by night.
So you're pretty famous.
Well, I don't think of myself as famous. I'm just a regular
that means
guy.
You're humble then.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Ego stands for ease it out.
I had a friend who said he was fame-ish.
Yeah, fame-ish. I like that.
So, Adrienne, how do we get a hold of you?
It's Adrienne, ADRIENNE, at thecaregiverspace.org, and all the other information you need is on the site.
Yes, and Adrienne's pretty famous herself. She has 165-ish people following her on Facebook. And I'm CaregiverDave.com, Dave Nassani, and my Facebook page is Dave, the Caregivers, Caregiver, with an apostrophe S on Caregivers. So thank you again, everybody, and until next time, we will see you. Bye-bye.
One Arm, One Leg, 100 Words by Dave Nassani is the book that helps you overcome and perhaps even prevent the hardships associated with strokes. Dave takes you on his journey and experience with his own wife Charlene, a stroke survivor. This book tells you everything about strokes to help you and your loved ones survive without making costly mistakes that may save a life or a brain from irreparable damage. One Arm, One Leg, 100 Words. The book is available on Amazon.com or order it from fine bookstores everywhere.
For the best in business class travel, count on Cheapo Air. Cheapo Air has the best price guarantee, 24/7 customer service, and easy booking online or by phone. To experience your hassle-free journey, start by going to HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on Cheapo Air.
Reclaim your caregiver sanity with Dave Nassani's book, It's My Life Too. Caring for someone with an illness or condition who is expected to live for a relatively long period of time is a specific and unique challenge. This book pinpoints the needs and strategies a caregiver must do for themselves in order to survive, thrive, and make caregiving a rewarding, gratifying experience. So get your copy of It's My Life Too today, or buy one for your special caregiver. It's My Life Too is available at Amazon.com and CaregiverDave.com.
Reach your health and fitness goals. Whether you want to lose weight, learn to dance, build muscle, or just live healthy, Beachbody gives you unlimited access to the nation's most popular fitness and weight loss solutions. Visit our advertiser page and click on Beachbody now.
Guilt, fear, loneliness, burnout. These are just some of the things caregivers feel. But now there's hope. CaregiverDave.com is a membership website with an understanding community designed around supporting you. With a little perspective, planning, and practical help, you can become a thriving caregiver. Start by visiting CaregiverDave.com. Get weekly calls, practical solutions, and free resources. Plus, when you sign up, you'll get a 30-minute coaching call free. Don't wait. Go to CaregiverDave.com and join now.
The bright side of talk. HealthyLife.net.